Satnam, hello. Good morning. Or noon, or whatever you have. Who's here?
Hello.
Oh, hi. This is Sada Call?
Yeah, hello.
Hi, sweetie. Tell me, how many more months do you have?
I have 5 more weeks.
5 more weeks?
Yeah,
oh, my God. Are you excited? Huh?
Pardon me?
Are you excited?
Oh, my, yes.
I bet you are. You and the princess, huh?
Yes.
It's fun.
Do
you have all the baby clothes and things ready?
Yeah, I have her first little outfit ready and her first little wardrobe and her first set of diapers.
Oh, my. Oh, my. How wonderful.
Yeah.
Have you named her
and
yet?
the rest. Pardon me?
Have you named her yet?
Yes.
Oh, what is she called?
Her first name is Aleshka.
Aneshka.
Yeah.
How wonderful.
It's Aleska.
Ah. And is that, did you, from Hungarian?
Yeah, it is a Slavic name, so it's like you find it in Poland, Hungary, Russia.
Mhm.
It means defender of mankind.
Oh, brother, that's wonderful. That's a lot. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a pretty name.
Mhm. Good. Well, we're waiting with you, dear. We're sending you heart breath.
Thank you so much.
Sure. And who else is here? Huh?
It helps a lot.
Sadnam Harinder. And Sada Call, what were you saying?
I just said thank you for the heart breath. It helps a lot.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. I'm glad. And welcome to Harinder in New Jersey. We're so glad to have you today, dear.
Thank you.
Yeah. And who else is here?
Satjot is here in Juneau.
Okay, so I heard Sut City in Juneau?
Satjot.
Satjot in Juneau. Welcome, dear.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, good. And
Sut
who else
City.
spoke? Oh, Sut City. There's a Sut City. And you're in Millis right now, huh?
No, I'm in Eastern Long Island.
You're where?
Eastern Long Island.
You're on Long Island at where?
East part, the eastern end.
Oh, the eastern part. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Satnam.
Is that Sayville?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, bless you, dear. Good to have you.
Good to be here.
And who else is here?
Diana in Boulder.
Welcome, Diana in Boulder. Have we had you before with us?
No.
Well, welcome. We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
Mhm. And who else is here?
Rahmani and Tomas.
Oh, welcome, dears.
Thank you.
Glad to have you.
Thank you.
On this sunny day in New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And who else is here?
Ranjit?
Is it Ranjit?
Yes, Satnam.
Satnam, dear, welcome.
Thank you.
And who else is here?
Hargo Ben.
Hi, Hargo Ben, Ranjit's brother. Welcome.
Ranjit.
Hey.
I saw your posting on our Facebook page about how good people and crummy people can get along.
Yeah.
Well,
that book is great. Have you ever read that?
No.
Wow, John Maxwell Taylor, he's awesome.
Mhm.
It's a great
book.
book.
Does he say let go and let God?
He says lots of good stuff. I don't know if he says that, but that's a good one.
Good. Okay, well, thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And who else is here?
Jasper Carr, Juneau.
Oh, hi, Jasper Carr, Juneau.
Hi.
Welcome. And who else is here?
Pam in Los Angeles with Sue Yen.
Sue Yen?
Well, she will be coming soon.
Oh, okay. And what is her name?
My name is Pam, and we were brought by Hari Mander.
Oh, good.
Here.
Well, welcome.
Yes.
Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Yes. Are you all on the, do you all get the newsletter?
I think we will be, but I haven't yet.
Okay, I'm going to tell you how to sign up.
All right.
You go to soulanswer.com.
Oh, I'm sure that Hari Mander gave that. I'll just have to look again. All right, answer.com.
And then you look for the little green box near the top of the page. It says Join the Soul Answer Community.
Okay.
And then at some point in the process, it will give you a lot of boxes that you might check off. Be sure that you also check off the one about Los Angeles.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Yes, we
Because
will.
I come to Los Angeles, and I'd like to meet you.
I'd love to meet you.
Okay. Pleasure, dear. Who else is here?
Hari Mander.
Oh, Hari Mander, you're here. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. And who else is here?
Purenbeer.
Oh, Ranbir?
Purenbeer.
Oh, Puddinbeer.
Yes.
Welcome, dear.
Thank you.
Glad you're here.
Oh, good.
And who else is here? Okay. Well, welcome, everybody. Whether you have given us your name or whether you are simply here by heart breath, by your presence, welcome. Okay, so let's us begin long, deep breathing. That is from the belly, through the nose. That's it. From the belly, through the nose. And allow the prana to move through. And that is your life force energy. Allow it to move on the breath. And we are going to tune in. We're going to tune in to the great divinity of which we are, and for guidance and protection. And this is big stuff. Okay, the words are Om Namo Gurudev Namo. And inhale to begin. Long deep breath. Good. And now please begin heart breath. That is, please continue with the same long, deep breathing from the belly, through the nose, slowly. But on the exhale, feel as though the air is going out of your heart center at the middle of your chest. it. Long, deep breathing. Heart breath. Now, this is an essential healing breath. So please pay attention to how your heart feels. Do you feel it opening? Do you feel brightness? Do you feel change? Good. And now please send all of your heart breath, whether you are on this phone conference right at this minute or whether you were listening to this as a recording, please send this beautiful heart breath to everyone who is listening right now or who will ever listen. There is no constraints of time or space when you're dealing with this energy. Good. Feel all of the energy coming together. One beautiful ball of light. And please send it to your own personal intention. Make that intention now. Healing intention. And it seems as though every week now we are sending this healing energy to the Middle East. Good. Keep up heart breath. And Baba Siri Chand is here. He's kind of smiling. He's like, when a parent is satisfied with their child, that look on their face, that's kind of the look that he has on his face for everybody here on the call and anybody listening to the recording one. Keep up the breath. He says, yes, I'm always happy and satisfied with you. He says, with the one hand I am. He says, but with the other hand, I'm always pushing you. He says, how could I ever be a good parent if I didn't do both? He says, I will never scold you. He says, but I will always hold you in my arms and point to the truth. He's like, it's like a picture. He's holding a little child and pointing to the North Star. Keep up your breath. He says, you run around so much. You have so many things to do, so many things on your list, so many things to accomplish. He says, and if you don't get them all done, then you feel like a failure, then you feel whizzed out, you feel gone. He says, and during that time, do you remember me? Do you remember your soul? Do you remember who you really are? He says, do you have professional pockets? Sir, what do you mean by that? He says, do you posit yourself as a professional person and keep that separate from the sacred and divine person that you know yourself to be? He says, when you stop for gas, when you go to the 7-Eleven, when you go to the grocery store, do you take even have a second, he says, to know who you are? To jump into that really visceral knowledge of who you are. The knowledge that you are God. The knowledge that you are this great visceral projection of the Godhead. Do you do it? He says, heck no. He says, my dears, now is the time to start. He says, I want you to start regulating yourself so that at every turn you remember who you are. He says you jump into what this girl calls the soul space or the soul dimension. He says you move over into that. You jump into it. He says like a kid jumping like a cannonball into the pool. He says you just make that big splash and there you are. He says then your mind is cooled. Then you are energized. Then there is not a worry. He says there is only focused attention left. Do you see? He says, do you see how you try to organize what you call your daily life or your ordinary life? So totally by your mind that you forget soul, that you forgive, he calls it, you forget this impending majesty that you are. He says, and you know that's quite detrimental. It wears you down. He says it's like it makes cavities in your teeth. He's not necessarily talking about real cavities in your teeth, but it makes holes in your aura. He says, then the weave of the Almighty is not so strong in you. He says, you do need your precious mind. He said, but not exclusively. He says, your precious mind gets worried and anxious-ridden when it does not have the kindness, the partnering, the quality of love and life from soul. When your mind thinks it has to go it alone, it has to get all this stuff done, and make every end meet, cover yourself financially, emotionally, professionally, when you have to get all of these things done, and your mind gets so focused that it totally leaves out soul, that great partner, your own total source that has all the information that you need, that has all the grace that you need, that has all the kindness that you need. He said, so what happens? He says, you tie yourself in a ball. Your mind ties yourself in a ball because it thinks it has to do everything on its own. It sees itself as the orphaned babe who has to rescue the universe, or some version of that. He says, can you see how difficult that is? Can you see how you would get worried? Can you see how you would marry your fears and let go of all that supports you in one fell swoop? Can you see how all of what you call your faults would come to revisit you time after time? He says they're not really faults. He says they are untrained ways of seeing the world and acting in the world. That's all they are. He says, so please, oh, he says, jump over into that beautiful heart dimension, soul dimension, so that you're not alone, so that you're not worried. He says, when you're in that dimension, if something is not coming to fruit, if you're not getting all your errands done, if things are not coming out the way you expect them to, he says, when you're in that dimension, there are no worries because you know that soul is taking care of everything for you. It doesn't mean that you sit on your couch like what they call a couch potato and wait for the whole earth to rotate around you. He says sometimes that's appropriate. Sometimes that really is appropriate. He says, but generally speaking, you stay within what you often call the flow. And the flow means that you allow yourself to sort of develop, percolate from your very source, from your very soul. He says, now this is not an outrageous thing to do. This is not a hard thing to do. He says, in fact, it is the very easiest thing in the world to do. He says, just begin your heart breath. Do it now. That's it. In your heart breath, just allow your consciousness to ease into the heart breath, to relax in that soul dimension. He says, if you're doing heart breath and you relax, he says, my dears, you were there. He says, now do you see in this condition, there are no worries. So you just stay there while we continue to talk to you. He says, in this condition, there is no question of heartfelt strength or demise. He says it just is. There is no question of getting it done or not getting it done. But there is pure faith that all is working out on the divine schedule. And all that does work out is, frankly, divine. In other words, it has its own purpose on a level that is not according to your mind's desire all the time. Sometimes it is. Sometimes the mind is on board. He says, but you recognize that there is total order in the universe. And when mind picks it apart and says, this is not working, you bless the mind and you ask soul, let me be with you. Let me flow with you. Do you have any advice here? Is there any change of course? Is there any particular direction that I need to take at this time? And all the time you are flowing in the hammock of love. Keep up the breath. Just feel that now. Is there something that is giving you a problem, that is giving you a challenge, that you don't know how it's going to work out? He says, no, just jump into this hammock of love. He says, and have a little lover's conversation with soul. So, how's it going? What do we need to do? Do we need to do anything? Do I just need to rest here with you and be nourished? Let yourself be reassured that soul has it flowing. I'm not going to say under control, but I am going to say that soul knows and is directing the flow as we let go. As we let the beauty occur, as we let the kindness occur. Keep up. And as we do this, we not only participate in our life, but we also watch it. Watch it like an incredible movie. Instead of worrying about what will happen next, you watch what will happen next. And instead of saying that was a terrible thing that happened, or I did not come to the top of my class, or the air was let out of my tires and I feel so crestfallen. Instead of that, you just go, so, you were in charge. Would you like to tell me what's going on? And you know what soul will often tell you? It will say, relax, expand, but always stay in partnership with soul. The depth of this partnership, the expansion of this partnership between you, your mind, and your soul is such an exquisite partnership as you allow it, as you become conscious of it, as you keep that consciousness flowing through your mind, your body, your emotions, your energy system. You are in the hammock of love. When challenges come up, they are not personal affronts by soul. They are beautiful learning opportunities for you. They are ways to pay your karma, and as you pay your karma, they become like sort of look like workout machines in the gym. You know, if you continue the workout, then you get stronger. In this case, if the challenges come up, you continue working with this partnership, trusting this beautiful partnership that's going on in your whole being. He says, then you will know the love of the situation. You will understand by using this heart breath, by using this trust, how to break the bonds of fear, the bonds that bind you. He says you will let hope go even. He says because you will live in the minute, in the very present, where all is being created. All is being created. He said if you waste the minute in worry, he says, what have you got? He says you've lost that minute. He says you have lost that minute of your life to worry, to guilt, to anger, and so on. He says, now I'm not putting down those emotions. He says those emotions are valuable. But if you become subject to them, if you become the victim of those worries, anger, guilt, and so on, if you become the victim of them, then you've lost your chance. But if they come up and you say, so, where are we going with this? How can we get to the heart of the challenge? How can we solve this puzzle? How can we flow on your beautiful heart to resolve what's going on here? Say you feel like you don't have enough money. He says, stick close to soul. Stick close to soul. And let soul open your heart. Let soul guide you. Okay. Let soul become your chairman of the board. And have trust in that. He says this is not a Pollyanna attitude which is, Pollyanna attitude is positive mind taken to the extreme, where you see no negative mind, which tells you the pitfalls, keeps you aware and keeps you safe. He says, no, this is not total one-pointed positive mind that keeps you unconnected. He says, no. You see everything that's going on. You're very aware. And in your conversations with soul, you say, you just let soul know. Obviously, soul already knows, but you just note what's going on. You send it to soul and wait for the feedback. Now, sometimes this feedback is immediate. You know, as you switch your mind, your viewpoints, sometimes you go, oh, how about that? I hadn't looked at it from that viewpoint, which is soul's viewpoint. On the other hand, it might take a while. He says, but every instance that you take to be worried, to be angry, to feel the lack, he says, takes away from the minutes that this situation will be solved. Do you see? So why not use these dreadful emotions to say, okay, we've got a game going here, soul. What are we going to do next with this? What are we going to do next to solve it? and you stay with soul, and you move with the surprises that come up. You may think it's harsh to say that you treat it almost like a game. It is a sacred game. It is a sacred game of development, of growth, of kindness. He says, but keep up. He says, use your mantra. Use your mantra, use your daily sadhana to stay in this most fruitful, this most eventful, most blissful and steadying of energetic spaces. And that is the space of your soul. Feel that presence of who you really are. You are soul. I know we talk about partnership, and that may seem like it's a split, but that's just the way we begin. Over time, as you do this more and more, you will find that you are one and the same. So that happens when mind totally becomes a servant of soul. Keep up the breath. You can ask your mind now, mind, or we call it everyday self, how would you like to serve soul? Would that help you protect yourself if you listen to soul for guidance? Would it, if mind or everyday self listened to and partnered up with soul, would that help you become great, become the person you were meant to be? Would it allow you to follow your destiny and be fully fulfilled? Mind, everyday self. If you listen to soul, if you listen to your purity, your God self, who your real source is, would that help you? Would that be the source that projects through you? Would you love to project soul through your mind, through your body, through your actions, through your own love, through your own settledness? Would you like to do that? Keep up the breath. Would you like to start by trying that? Would you like to start by trying that? That means self-training, becoming aware. Soul, are you on board? Are you on board to partnering with soul, your God self? And so Baba Siri Chand says, try it over time. Do it over and over and over again and see what happens when you really trust soul, when your mind, your everyday self, build up the trust. And you do that by testing this relationship over and over again. What happens when mind or everyday self does not trust soul? What are the results? What happens when mind runs around in that big squirrel cage? What happens? What happens when mind allows itself to settle into the arms of soul, to receive the solace, the direction, the guidance? What happens? Will a mind overlook soul when soul gives it such simple and easy directions, such as breathe, relax, expand? Will mind cut it off and say, you don't know what you're talking about, that's too simple? In fact, will you follow soul's direction? Like a treasure hunt, not knowing what comes next, but following the directions. Following the directions. Keep up the breath, please. Feel that beautiful, precious soul. And allow mind or everyday self to be held. To be held in kindness, in security, by soul, by your God self. Baba Siri Chand says he will deliver you there if you allow him. He will deliver you to this beautiful partnership, which sometimes you may feel is like a brother-sister partnership. Sometimes you may feel like it's a parent-child relationship. Sometimes you may feel that it is even like a professional business relationship. But there's always a kindness. There's always a kindness. And pure, rooted, stable kindness begets kindness. Don't forget that. It's not wasted. Even if when you meet another person and you are kind to them and they are not kind to you, just do heart breath. And please have pity on them. Please have compassion on them, because they are at the point in the karmic wheel when they do not know how to, first of all, love themselves, which is the essential, primal point that needs to be established before you can love another. So you send them heart breath, understanding that this is not an assault on you. In fact, it is their proving of their lack of self-worth and lack of self-love. Even if they are blaming you for being lower than them. You understand? They don't get it. They don't get it. So please do your heart breath. He says if they haul off to try to punch you, of course you defend yourself. Absolutely. And he says there are boundaries. Please set up boundaries with these people, healthy ones, not out of fear, but out of health for both of you. Keep up the breath. He said, but even if you need to yell at the other person so that they can hear you, he said, at the root of it, at the very source of it, you are projecting soul from the spot of deep love so that that vibration may penetrate them. It may spark them at some time, whether it's now or later on. You have given that vibration. Do you understand? He says you are the kindest souls on earth when you understand that. When you don't lock anybody out, but the pure foundation of love is available to all. All. You are not, do not be wimpy. He says, what's the point in that? Do what needs to be done. If the person needs to be put in jail, put them in jail. But underlying it all is an understanding that you are supporting their learning their own self-love, their own self-forgiveness. And do it for yourself as well. Rest in that hammock of love. Rest in the hammock of love, even if you're running 100 miles an hour. Even if there is extreme urgency, like a bomb has just gone off. You are still residing in your home base, which is the hammock of love. Do you understand? This is the timelessness of you. You know that the God self, is timeless. It is eternal. It is omnipotent. That means all-powerful. Believe me, when you go into this state of soul, All power flows through you. If you go into the attitude of blaming, of being hurt, of being upset, and you stay there, if you do not use that information to find out soul's direction, but if you stay in the hurt, the anger, he says you stay not in the present, but in the flurry of not timelessness, but of time. He says it's up to you. It's really up to you. You know, you are the God self, and you are acting as yours, which is acting as yourself. He says, so it's up to you, the timing, the trust, the being present. All those decisions are yours, not anybody else's, and not to feel guilty if you forget or you just don't want to do it yet. No guilt. It's just up to you. He says, because you are at your core, at your center, at your source, you are the God self. And if you want to dally in self-hurt or blame, that's up to you. Maybe you're not ready to give up that experience yet. God bless. And you do the same with other people. God bless. Okay, so let yourself be wrapped in this beautiful love of soul, from soul. Feel it totally permeating you and sourced within your own heart. And spreading out. Let it expand. Let it expand. Without limit, without fear, and trust. Trust. Keep up the breath. And rest and trust that it is all true. All true. And take heart from that. Bless you. And he says, now, oh my dears, this is your time to expand. He says, if you have questions, if you have ideas, if you have experience, he says, what did you experience in this hammock of love? He says, who can go first? He says, I'm tickling you. Please step forward. Okay. Harinder? Harinder, can you share?
Got about star 6.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, unmute yourself.
For me, this teaching always speaks to my heart because I always apply whatever Baba Siri Chand tells us, and it's very much this time again. When you said it's okay to have boundaries, that is one thing that I have challenge in because I tend to always extend myself to a point. Then later on, I feel like I've been used.
Right.
And then I said to myself, well, why do I feel this way? I helped so much. Why is it doesn't feel good? Because I went too far. And or I extended myself too much, and I let the other person just take over. And so all the help that I wanted to do to that person didn't feel good at the end. So I have to practice that and know where the boundaries, and I wrote it down for myself, that it's great to be a good person and it's great to think with your heart, but sometimes the other person does not see the goodness. And so that's something that I'm going to put into a practice. And of course, these expand to many areas, not just extending help, but just many areas. Another thing that I wrote down for myself is to use your heart. I sort of like scan everything with my heart and remember who I am. Once I do that, then the situation that is in the front of me is not as bad. I approach it totally different. If there is an argument or drama in the front of me, I scan it into my heart. And then all of a sudden I have completely a different approach to it. And I can talk soft, and I can pace myself. I can think before I'm saying something. So that's another thing from this lesson that I wrote down, and I'm taking it with me.
Oh, good. And you can do heart breath.
And I do heart breath. I always do.
Oh, good. And that
I always do.
Makes such a big difference.
Yeah. So thank you, Baba Siri Chand, and thank you, Siri Gian.
Oh, my pleasure. It's amazing. What you have just described is amazing. And it can be a very confusing situation. If we, for instance, are trying to please people, we often, well, I can't say how often, but there is a possibility that we are putting ourselves in the victim position. We may think we're doing wonderful, wonderful things and so on, but then the person who may be asking all this from us, and we are doing our best to people please, it's possible that they will turn on us, and even if we give our all, and we never nourish ourselves, then we collapse, and the other person doesn't understand it, or, you both go down with the ship, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a lot to what you were just talking about, how to be a compassionate person, but to always listen to soul about where to go with this, how to do this, because even when you're dealing with the same person, sometimes soul may say, go with it. Sometimes soul may say, hold back. Or it doesn't exactly say hold back. It may say, stay within your center, or wait, or relax. So it's a very second-by-second situation.
True, very true.
Mm-hmm. And not to feel guilty when you can't provide everything, when you can't do everything. And frankly, when that happens, when you cannot fill in those places, that gives space for other people to fill in, or it gives space for the person that you're helping to give them space to rely on their soul. So you have to. So it's a matter of trusting this great, amazing creative presence.
Mm-hmm.
So I am so happy that you brought that up.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Who else can share or has a question? Just beer card from Juno. Would you like to share?
Not at this time, thank you.
Okay. I can hardly hear you, dear.
Not at this time, thank you.
Oh, okay. Is there somebody else?
Ron Jade, I'll share.
Great.
I also really like that about setting up healthy boundaries, and also I'm not sure if I did hear it right, but I thought I heard after setting up healthy boundaries and how good that was, it was to protect your soul. And I was thinking a good way for people who have trouble like that, like I'm like that too, oftentimes, like with Harimanda, and really trying to go maybe the extra mile or whatever, and sometimes you feel like it's either exhausting to you or I don't know, sometimes I feel that responsibility to try to help people more, and then sometimes it leaves me feeling drained or exhausted. But if I can set up those healthy boundaries and as you said, allow the other person to tap into the resources of their soul, but at the same time I'm protecting my soul. And I think for myself anyway, if I can look at that, is maybe I'm not going to be so, bent on protecting myself, but now that I realize that I have to protect my soul, or I want to, that's like my baby. So if my soul is holding me in security and I relax, I expand into my soul, and I really follow my soul's direction and trust in the pure kindness of it, it's going to be very easy for me to set up my boundaries because, it's protecting something that's so very, very precious. And and another very important thing that I got was about wasting time and worry. And that's happened over the past couple of days. Some things have come up, and we can't get that time back. And so I see now that this is something that I will work very, very hard on. Not hard, but relax into my soul to help me work on that area where I will endeavor not to waste time on worry or anger or fretting about something, and just trust that there is a reason for it, and just lie back and wait in the coziness of my hammock of love.
There you go.
And all will be well.
There you go. It may bring up more challenges, but that's part of the flow. That's part of the flow. And we talked about challenges. And I want to say one thing, that you talked about protecting your soul. How about this? How about if you change it around, that soul is there to protect you?
It is. I thought I had heard Baba Siri Chand. That's why I had asked you. I thought I heard Baba Siri Chand say, set up healthy boundaries, protect your soul. But that's why I asked you. Maybe I did not hear that. I thought I heard that today.
Well, maybe you did. But but it's going to be your soul that is protecting you.
Yes.
Isn't that fun?
Yes.
So you allow soul to protect you. But you have to listen. These are boundaries that are not necessarily just made up by your mind. Your mind may come up with them and then check in with soul. Soul, how do I handle this?
Very good.
Okay. Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
And who else? Who else can share?
This is Satjot.
Yes, Satjot.
Well, this is wonderful. I heard something today which relates to my problem last week. I was talking about people who were threatening me, and I feel so safe now.
Oh,
and
good.
Baba Siri Chand today said something about soul's healing energy. I can't remember how he said it, but I was thinking about it. It's so helpful that this person who's confronting you can also be healed through the interaction. And just to project that and to think of that, and that be the whole focus. And then everything else just goes away, it seems like. And then I'm going through a really amazing change now in my life, which is problematic but so amazing that my whole life is changing, everything. Going from a very difficult ordeal for many years to a whole new state.
Oh, really? What does that mean?
Well, to success, things going well for me, things, my healing, health, hopefully success. But what's happening is I get, it's just traumatic, and I tend to slip back sometimes and into this dreadful state of worry for just a little while that I've messed up, that I'm ruining things that I'm doing. But I think it's because of the transformation I'm going through. I'm not used to being this new, expansive person.
Is it fun? Are you enjoying it?
Yes, it's incredible. What I wanted to say is it's amazing. Every time, like I'm telling you this now, every time I tell somebody what's going on with me, it changes and it goes away.
What changes and goes away?
The problem.
Oh.
Yeah, if I reveal, it's like if something I've been hiding and I reveal it, just about my psyche or something that's a problem in my life, and I tell someone, then it immediately disappears. Or if I write it in a letter, the next day it's gone.
Oh, my God, dear.
So I'm going through a change.
I
feel strange. I feel like I've been raised by wolves. I don't know how to be in this new self. But I'm learning, and I'm just settling. I'm just like you say, to relax into it.
What a delight!
Yes.
What a delight!
Thank you so much for everything.
Oh yes, of course, and thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. God bless.
For keeping up. That's so good.
Yes. Bye. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, dear. Oh, good. Now, does somebody else have something about a minute long? Okay.
As Hargo, Ben, I just want to add something real quick that I've been teaching heart breath in my Kundalini yoga class now.
Yeah?
And like after we tune in, I'll have everybody do some heart breath right there for a couple of minutes before we start the class.
Oh, good. And what happens?
Oh, it's nice. It's really great. You know how it is. It just shifts the energy and everything's beautiful.
Wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that. Keep up. I know you will. Well, bless you all. What a delightful visit with all of you with Baba Siri Chand. Okay, so now we're going to allow that great love to expand from our heart to each one who listens to this, to his talk, and then send it out. Basically, this is a foundation for world peace. Allowing this beautiful love energy is not like a Hallmark card love energy. It's not like that. It's just this feeling of being constant, being open, being present. That's what this love is about. And so we're going to sing it to each other and to the whole world. Okay? Straight spine. Inhale. May the long time sun shine upon you, all around you, and the pure light within you guide your way on, guide your way on, guide your way on. Inhale. Now to your innocence, to your wholeness, to your love, and to your total universality. God bless you all, and talk to you next week. Sat Nam. Bless you.